Start over?
Yeah, my finger hit the button and actually stopped it, so that was my fault.
All right. I don't like the way I started it. So I'll go back.
It's digital, so you can start over as many times as you want.
All right. So we notice we got all the blue on this machine. So all the blue on this machine is a touch point for us to touch every day on the clean down. So we notice we got blue wash arms. We're going to take these out, and we've got a little peg here so for an alignment to put these in to help with the clean down process. All of our end users know how to clean our machine and know what to touch on a daily basis. We've got quite a bit of blue items in here, but they're all very easy to grab and get at. Also, everything's going to have a magnet on it, so when they're taken out, the machine's going to let you know when it needs to be replaced. We're going to take them all out, put them back in, and all these things need to be cleaned on a daily basis. You know, so we got the blue door, so we know to open it. And we're going to see that again in the next wash tank area, and again in the next. This machine uses 56 gallons of water an hour, and it's going to run on cold water after its initial fill. So the initial fill is going to be a hot water fill, and then the rest of the day it's going to run on cold water, and it's going to reuse that cold water 6 times before it initially puts it down the drain, or eventually puts it down the drain. So the cold water is going to come in, it's going to run through the waste air heat recovery. It's going to be the first use of the water. It's going to knock down the latent heat in the room. Then it's going to come all the way this way, and it's going to go through the final rinse area, which is going to be the second use of the water, where it's going to come through at 180 degrees and get you to that 160 degree surface temperature. Then that water is going to go into the pump rinse tank, where we're going to use it for the 3rd time in the pumped rinse. Then it's going to get pumped through our filtration process into the next tank, which is going to be the wash tank, to where it's going to get used again for the 4th time. Then it's going to get filtered through this box to this tank, which is the pre-wash, to where the water is going to get used for a 5th time. Then it's going to get pumped from here over into this little trough area where people are loading dishes and the stuff is falling down in, and it's going to help wash everything down to this scrap tray to help with clean down throughout the day, to where the water eventually goes down the drain. So that is 6 uses of the water in this machine before we put it down the drain. It's very, very efficient. Also, that is less water you're going to heat, less water you're going to put chemical on, less water you're going to pay to bring in, and less water you're going to pay to put down your sewage. So also, we're filtering this water. So this is going to be less dumps at the end of the day. So this is also going to be better washing results throughout the day. So this is going to continue to give you better operations, better results, and energy savings. So the savings really compound into a lot of ROI at the end of the day. You also see we have a very nice touchscreen that's going to give you a lot of information. It's going to show when your machine's in operation. It's also going to give you information. So let's say we opened a door. It gives us an information code that also lets us know what's going on when the door is open, what could be if the door was closed, and it's showing that the door is open, what could be going on. So this machine does a good job of self-diagnosis.
Cuts down on your warranty and service calls because you know it's
Yes.
reinstalled properly.
What we're trying to do is get a repair on first call. That way you're not having that diagnosis call. So when we call the tech, we know what part to tell him to bring so that he comes with a part instead of coming to diagnose and then having to return for a second trip. So we're really trying to cut back on those second trips or third trips that can happen from having to have to diagnose or even misdiagnose. So this is really shortening the window on repair time. We also have 3 different wash cycles on this machine, first being the fastest, second being medium, and third being the slowest speed. This is just to increase your contact time for dirtier wear. We've got a touch screen to turn the machine on here. We also have this is a dish with water coming down on it, and then this is a dish with no water coming down on it to stop a wash. We also have a button here to start and stop. And then we have a button down here to start and stop.
So if either side of the machine gets behind, you can
Correct.
stop it to get caught up. And then a rack limit switch there, or a table limit switch.
Correct. This is the end stop switch on the machine. So anytime anything comes to here, this is where you're going to start unloading everything from the machine and then remove this piece last. That way the belt has a little bit more time to run. You'll also notice in this machine that we have a pan in here. This is our blower dryer deflection pan. So this machine has what we call a clean energy concept with our airflow technology. So our airflow in this machine is always going to be moving from our blower dryer air towards the dirty side of the machine. So we're always going to push clean air towards the dirty end of the machine. So you're always going to have cleaner air running across a dirtier dish. So you're never going to
want air. You don't want air from the soiled side.
Exactly.
Pulling across the clean wares coming out on this side. You only want to go from the clean side to the soiled side.
Very much. You don't want oily, dirty air running across a brand new, brand freshly washed, clean dish.
I would imagine that's not the sanitary option as well to have that passing through.
Correct. That's why you'll always see that our Type 2 hood that will be usually installed with our machine is going to be over the load end of the machine, because that's where we're going to push all of the air towards our waste air heat recovery system there, and for all the steam and the exhaust and water vapor that's moving through the machine that direction.
And in terms of exhaust requirements, this is fairly minimal as far as machines of this size
Correct.
go.
We lead the industry in the least amount of latent heat in the room, and with the CFM requirements as well for the Type 2 hood.
Fully insulated machine, so it's really very quiet and
Correct.
keeps
Yes.
all of the steam and heat out of the operators.
Yes, double wall insulated machine, very similar to kind of how the Yeti cups and other things like that work. You can walk up and lean against the machine. You're not going to be burned or anything while it's in operation. Very cool to the touch.
The dish room can be a tough place to keep staff because it's not a very pleasant environment. So if you make it cool and quiet, they'll hang around longer.
Very much so.
Don't have the same amount of turnover.
This machine is very user-friendly and it's very service-friendly. So this machine was designed for the people that are going to be interacting with the machine every day and the people that are going to be servicing the machine to make their lives easier.
Yeah, all of the controls are there in that panel box that's easily accessible for a service tech.
Correct. And Meiko also offers a free service training class in Laverne, Tennessee. All we ask is that people provide their own transportation to get there. We will cover lodging and food while they are there, and we will train them to work on our equipment. We will supply spare parts list and schematics for the equipment.
In most territories now, we have field engineers as well. So if you have an issue that doesn't get resolved quickly, there's a Meiko guy in the territory that can kind of be a second line of response.
Yes, we have Meiko service agents and Meiko field engineers scattered around the country. We also pair up with quite a few authorized service agents as well for an additional layer of support. And we also have a 24/7 service hotline as well, where we will help diagnose over the phone as well with anyone else's service technicians. So we go with a very multi-layered support system with our equipment.
And I've been told it's millions of dollars worth of parts stocked in Nashville, Tennessee. So
that is correct.
Parts availability is not a concern.